What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy King K.O.D.S. and welcome back to another episode of the 49 Show. Um, this is my first video in a couple of weeks. Didn't do one after the Raven game. Didn't do one after the Saints game. I lost my voice after doing a whole lot of shouting and screaming in the Superdome last Sunday, and but nonetheless, I'm back now, and I'm very, very, very upset with the way this game turned out. We just lost. We were just stunned by the Atlanta Falcons, the 5-9 Atlanta Falcons now, at home in a crazy wild game. We just let Julio Jones just run off the line, free, untouched every play, running in motion. We don't move corners around and say follow that guy. We didn't double him. We didn't put hands on him at the line. We just let Julio be Julio. And it's like, I don't praise a lot of these number one receivers or these so-called number one receivers anymore because they don't deserve the praise that Randy Moss and Terrell Owens and Steve Smith and Anquan Bolden and Larry Fitzgerald in their prime, deserve to, that they deserve to get back then. The Isaac Bruce, the Torrey Holtz, and we're just talking about the 2000s, and shit, if I go back to the Jerry Rice, the GOAT, and the Chris Carter days, Herman Moore or whatnot, Shannon Sharps, Tony Gonzalez's, all those guys. I mean, those guys were really, really Hall of Famers. They were pros. You could touch people. You could jam. You could get away with a lot of things that you don't get away with now. So I don't praise those receivers. But my problem from the day's game is that these guys don't get touched at all. Some of them don't even really run routes. It's just easy to just run by somebody or, one little shake and bake, and you're going to be open because you open up the corner's hips, and it's like, well, what do you expect? You didn't do anything to, throw his route off track or the timing off with him and his quarterback. And I don't like it at all. Excuse me. I've been under the weather all week pretty much. But it's just I don't like the way that game ended. Now, I understand we were missing 5 key players on our defense, 5 starters. That's D Ford, that's DJ Jones, who's now out for the season. That's K'Wan Williams, that's Richard Sherman, and Jaquiski Tartt. And it's actually 6 if you count Quan Alexander, who's been out for the year and not coming back this year. But still, however, I want Salah to make adjustments. And I didn't see any adjustments made. You just let him run free out the line. He ran in motion and things like that to get open. I get it. But you have to say, okay, hey, look, I'm on you. I'm following you. Or if that's the linebacker, okay, you know what? Let me get the linebacker to come up here and jam, and the safeties is gonna have to step up, or we're gonna switch. And I don't know. I'm not the defensive coordinator. I'm not getting paid $1 million or $2 million a year to call the defensive plays, but certainly you know how to figure it out, Robert. And I'm highly upset that there were no changes at all made, especially on the last drive when the ball is going to JJ. Julio Jones. I mean, you can beat me with anybody else, but you're not going to beat me with him because I know that this is who you want to get the ball to. I mean, how many times have we heard people say, Belichick's going to take away this guy because he's the best player on your team, or whatever you do the most, or whatever you're the best at, he's going to take it away. Whether he's doing it for real or he's watching videotapes and cheating or whatever, we know that that's his game plan, to take away whatever you do best. And we didn't try to do that, knowing it is Julio. So that upset me. But the offense is really, really, really who I have the bone to pick with because they were bad. The offense was not good today. Mostert was pretty good, as always. He's really, really been stepping it up week by week. He's been doing so good that Breida and Tevin Coleman can't even hardly get carries, and that's understandable. He's the hot hand. He's still got the hot hand, and he's not giving it back anytime soon. It doesn't look like it. But we still struggle to just get the run game going in that rhythm that we used to do the first 8 weeks of the season. So, excuse me, we had, and then Kittle, we all know Kittle was a dog, a beast, a monster. He's the man. He's the best player on our team. And he had over 130 yards today. That's Kittle being Kittle. No surprise there. But other than him, we didn't do enough. We didn't do enough. We didn't get in the end zone enough. We just didn't do enough. The play calling was suspect. I didn't like Emmanuel Sanders, with all the misdirection stuff in the backfield instead of just lining up, running a route, trying to get open for his quarterback. I don't know what the deal was there. I don't know what he saw, what he was trying to create, but it wasn't working. It didn't happen. Deebo Samuel had a drop, and then he had a catch. I think that's it for all I can remember. So it just wasn't a good game offensively. Bourne had a catch or two as well. It just wasn't a good game. Last week we were so hot and we were just like, wow, who would have thought the Niners would have won a shootout in the Superdome in New Orleans against Drew Brees and the Saints? And we done that, 48 points. And then the day we come back home after that big win and we lay an egg pretty much and only score 22 points. And it wasn't an easy 22. So we lost yet again on the final play of the game. All three losses we've had this year were on the final play of the game. Today, with the Julio Jones touchdown breaking the plane, Justin Tucker, or whatever his name is, the kicker for Baltimore with the damn field goal to win the game at time expired in Baltimore. And then, Seattle kicking a field goal as well in overtime as time expired. Well, in overtime. So that's how we lost. The game ended there. So, again, that's 3 losses, and they've all been by now. Well, if it wasn't for that crazy touchdown that the Falcons ended up getting on that last play, I was going to say that that's 3 losses by 8 points. And that's really, really, really crazy because it's like, wow. That means you really could have won all 3 of those games and you could possibly be 14-0 right now. But we're not. We're 11-3, and we lost this game today 29-22. So, like I said, my problems is the offense. I didn't like a lot of things. We were struggling. I don't know the Falcons to have a top 10 defense. They're not a top 10 defense. I don't even think they're a top 15 defense. But they played us pretty well. We struggled sometimes to move the chains. It was a very inconsistent game for us offensively. We had one drive where we held the ball for, I don't know, a long time, 8 minutes maybe. It was 21 plays, and we went 88 yards. It was a 21-play, 88-yard drive, and we did punch it in and get these touchdown. That was 7 points. That's the best drive we had the entire game. And we lucked up by getting the turnover thanks to Dwelly off a special teams when the Falcons were returning the ball. It was 13-10 at the time. Dwelly puts his hat on the ball comes loose, check, recovers it, gets it to the goal line. We reward him later on, a few plays later, and we score a touchdown by throwing it to him. We went up 20-10, or 19-10 because Gold missed the extra point. But that really was, I was like, this saved us. This is what's going to be key to us winning the game. Because I thought at the time, we got this in the bag now. But we still didn't. We still didn't win the game. I've always said Robert Saleh is cool when he's got talent. He looks like a genius now. It's because he had D Ford and Bosa lined up, pinning their ears back, rushing the passer. DJ Jones was playing lights out. And Quan Alexander was a great addition as well in the middle, using his speed and his instincts and things like that. And it made the secondary look better, so he looked like a fucking genius. Now, with 5-6 injuries to starters on our defense all being out, he looks like, hey, you're kind of looking, this is kind of the same team you had last year now, except for Bosa being out there. And you don't look that smart again because he's not making any adjustments at all. And I don't like that. I just think that we've got to blitz a little bit more sometimes because we're not getting pressure the normal way anymore with our front four because we're being screened to death. The quarterbacks, these pocket quarterbacks, where I told you we're elite against pocket quarterbacks, but we are only average against dual threat quarterbacks, that is true. So what the pocket quarterbacks are doing now, the offensive game planner, the coordinator, the head coaches, they're in the film room saying we got to get rid of the ball quick. Drew Brees done it last week. Rarely did he ever just stand back there for 5-6 seconds. Hell no. He would have gotten killed. And they know that. Sean Payton knew that. So they do these quick throws, these quick slants, these quick screens, wide receiver screens, all kind of screens, because they want to get the ball out quick and just put a hat on our head, block us up, and get those yards that way. They're chipping their way at us. We've got to make some adjustments and get better if we want to go to the Super Bowl. If we're going to win a playoff game, it's time to tighten it up. Now, I was impressed with the run defense today, but I don't want to be too high on that either, because I don't know if the Falcons' O-line and if their running offense is that good. I hadn't checked the numbers on that, and I don't really like to do numbers anyway. But they came in the game 4-9. That's all I needed to know. But what I did know is that it could be a trap game, and we could slip up and lose, and Shanahan said that as well during the week. We could get our butts kicked because of the situation and, you know, what happened last week and the players that we got out. But I saw guys playing hard, but I still didn't see them making enough plays. And that's basically what it boils down to. I don't want to just, you know, get too down and depressed about it. We're still 11-3. We did clinch the playoffs because the Rams laid a duck out there today in Dallas. So because the Rams lost, we are officially in the playoffs. We're back, finally, for the first time in 6 years. The 49ers will be in the playoffs. It's the first time since 2013. We have clinched the playoff berth. But we could also be in the playoffs at 11-5 if we don't win these next two games. We need to win them both if we want to get the number one spot back. As of right now, Seattle won today. We're back at number 5. And if the playoffs were to start today, we'd be going to Dallas or Philly. And, you know, if we lose one of these games or both, that's what's going to happen. Well, if we lose both, hell, we may not even be a 5 seed. We could be 6. I just don't know. But as of right now, we're 5. The Rams game, I don't want to say anything right now until I see an injury report, because we need some players back. D Ford, I'm going to need you to get back, and I'm going to need you to get back quick. They said a couple weeks, but damn, I'm telling you, it's going to be hard for us to be number one with a bye week, getting ready in the divisional round to host a playoff game at Levi Stadium without getting some of those guys back now. If we continue to let those guys sit out, they're not going to have that extra week off that they're thinking that they're going to have. They're going to be playing a wild card game. And we've got to play better, though, man. Seriously, we have to play better. Give me your thoughts, comment, like, subscribe, click the notification bell. This has been another episode of the 49 Show with your boy, K.O.D.S. I'll come back in a couple days to tell you what I think is going to go down, but I won't give you a prediction until I see an injury report. As far as the Saturday night game against the Rams on NFL Network. That's pretty much all I got. I think Salah has to be more creative, has to make adjustments. He needs to send more pressure, because we have to be creative to get that pressure. We have to send some different kind of blitzes, because they're not going to just drop back and let us just rush them, because they'll get their quarterback killed. They know after the first 8 weeks, this front line is serious and they're for real. So they're coming up with other ways to take that away from us. So Salah's got to get better. He's got to be smarter. And I've said all along, I was calling for his head after year 2. And the only reason why he's looked good so far is because we added talent. But this talent, we're getting thin at D-line. We're getting decimated with injuries again, one by one. So I need D Ford to get back. And I thought Sheldon Day did a pretty good job today, though, taking over for DJ Jones. But I thought Mosley did okay. But that is Julio Jones. I've been saying I want to see E-Man and Spoon out there together by themselves to see what the future looks like at secondary for the 49ers. With Sherm out, we got to see it. But I don't really know what to say about it right now, because that's Julio Jones. I just think that we need to put our hands on that guy and any other guy a lot more and stop zoning to death. And, you know, it's just a slow death. You know, they're picking us apart. We're bending, and sometimes we don't break, but we broke when it mattered the most, and that was at the end. I mean, I'm not saying I expected a shutout, and no, the Falcons didn't score 30, 40 points on us, but at the same time, what looked like was going to be a second half shutout, it went quickly from 10 points to them finishing with I'm just going to say 23 because the 29 was a fluke, on the last play where we were trying to just get a damn, throw the ball back, lateral, and try to see can we get our way down the end zone with some kind of Music City miracle. And they ended up getting the ball and went in the end zone, and that's why it finished to be 29. That's why it ended up being a 29-22 finish. But nonetheless, we need to play better offensively. The play calling was suspect, Shanahan, and it just was suspect. I want Emmanuel Sanders to be at the line of scrimmage running routes, not in the backfield with all the trickery stuff. Whatever you were looking for, I didn't see it. It didn't work. They didn't give it to us. So I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to soak this loss up and take it like a man, swallow it up, and see what I can find out as far as some of these players coming back. K'Waun Williams was in concussion protocol, so I'm thinking he'll be back by Saturday to cover the nickel slot area. But Sherm is probably going to be out until the Seahawk game. And if you ask me, he probably should be out until the playoffs. But it just depends on how we're looking and where we stand on when these guys are going to try to come back and tough it out. D Ford, though, we really need him. Paid a lot of money for this dude. And, this is a problem that he's had. He's always been hurt, nicked up throughout the season in Kansas City. The only season that he didn't miss any games and played the whole year was last year, and it just so happened to be a contract year. Quan Alexander also, I told you before, he also had injuries, towards ACL last year. Here he is again now with a torn pec. It's, before the torn ACL, he had injuries. He only had one season where he played a full season out of 4 seasons, and this is his 5th now. Same thing for D Ford. I've said this before, time and time again. It's time for us to stop bringing in guys, taking chances on guys, no matter how good they are. If they have a history of injuries, we just can't do it. Because what is it doing us right now? What is it doing for us right now that as good as Quan was playing and as good as D4 was playing, they're not on the field helping us out right now? 8-0 start, now we're 11-3. 8-0 start, now 11-3. So that means we are 3-3 since their 8-0 start. And that's because coaches have made adjustments. They will not let us just pin our ears back and rush the quarterback anymore. They're not going to do that anymore. So it's time to switch it up. We've got to just get out these blocks, get ready for these screens. Now, they don't beat us all the time on them. We blow some plays up in the backfield at times, but it's just hard to do it when you've got key injuries like we had today. But, with that being said, I expect the offense to, hold the slack, to pick up the slack. They're supposed to be able to do that. And if you score 48 points in a loud Superdome, you would expect them to be able to put up at least 30, which would have been enough for us to beat the Falcons today. They laid an egg, and I'm more disappointed in the offense than I am the defense. But I just want to put it out there that Salah, you've got to be better. You look like a genius because you had talent. Now, 5-6 guys of that talent on that defense were out today. And I know you're probably saying, what else can he do? The starters were out. Well, you have to do more. Show me something else. You can't run the same scheme and think that you're going to win when you know that you have less talent. We said this all last year. Blitz more. Play a little bit more man. Do something. It was understandable why we would not blitz because we could get the pass rush with 4 men on the D-line. But now you don't have those same 4 men. Ford is not there. DJ Jones is not there. This is Sheldon Day in and out the lineup. Buckner, Armstead, and Bosa are the only 3. And they're doubling Bosa more now since Ford is out. It's just hard. We've got to come up with more ways to get pressure. And I say blitz more. Since some man blitzes or some zone blitzes, let's just do something. And let's put our hands on Julio Jones and these receivers that are very good at the line of scrimmage. You got 5 yards to press them up and jam them before you let them go. It'll throw the timing off if you do it right. K'Waun does it a little bit. These guys got to do better. They got to do better. They got to get coached up to do better. They have been doing good. But, this is what happens when you don't have a pass rush. The flaws starts to come back out. And you're seeing the flaws now that the pass rush is not getting there. And it's not getting there because they're getting rid of the ball quick. And it's smart on their behalf. Now we've got to, that was their chess move. And now it's time for us to make our chess move. Point blank. Rams, 49ers in Santa Clara, Saturday night. I'll give you a prediction when I see an injury report, and I'll give you a breakdown, somewhere around that time too, in this coming week. That's it for me. Everybody try to hold your head. We red and gold until we dead and cold. It's just one loss. Yeah, we lost the number one spot for now, but if we win these last 2 games, we'll get it back. Point blank. If not, we're going to Philly or Dallas. Point blank. Simple as that. But we have clinched the playoffs thanks to the Rams getting their ass kicked today in Dallas. All right. That's it for me. For now, you've been watching another episode of the 4-9 Show.